and installing the Kubota RPG Speed Keys V2. These tip of the day videos are going to walk you through all of the things you need to know about your speed keys. In this video we're going to talk about how to start and some of the basics of using your speed keys. Starting your speed keys, you have two options. The first is you can select from the icon on your desktop, or you can go to your Start and All Programs options and search for the Kubota RPG Speed Keys V2. So I'm going to go ahead and start the application. You'll know it's running or starting because of this screen here with the taskbar, and this is the window that should open. However, if you've already run your speed keys and you're not sure if they're actually working, meaning if you're not sure that the program's already running, there's another way to look. Go down to your clock and there's the system tray. You're going to want to click here, and there it is. There's the new Speed Keys V2 logo. You can bring up the user interface or the control panel by right-clicking and selecting Show. This is the Kubota RPG Speed Keys V2 user interface, which we'll go through in another video. But while you're getting set up, one thing that I do want to mention is that you do need to tell the system which version of Lightroom you're using. As of the time of this video, we support Lightroom 2.7, Lightroom 3.0, and Lightroom 3.2. But as Adobe releases new versions of Lightroom, we will be offering updates to the V2 application so that you can continue to use your speed keys. So again, I've gone down to my clock, I've looked in my system tray for the speed keys application, and I've right-clicked and I found the tool there that says Set Lightroom Version. So here comes our Set Lightroom Version tool. I have three options: 2.7, 3.0, and 3.2. I'm going to select 3.2. I'm going to select OK, and now I'm off to the races. This is important. Don't forget that you've done this, because when Adobe comes out with Lightroom 3.3 or whatever version they call the next release, you're going to need to change your setting to accommodate this updated version of Lightroom. Okay, so here we go. We've got the user interface. Let's talk about some of the basics. On the left is a representation of the actual keyboard. We've shipped you this software set up identical to the Kubota RPG Speed Keys V1 product. So if you're an owner of V1, this should look very familiar. This button right here is black and white XXX, so on and so forth. You can make changes to this, which we're going to talk about in a moment. So we've got the keyboard on the left. We have a selection of different key options in the center. On the top right, we have a description of what every key does, and we have all of our user controls on the bottom right. So if I click on a key like this key right here for Vibrance Plus, Minus, and Preset 14, you're going to notice that there's a short description comes up. You're also going to notice that the controls on the right-hand side change. Now if I try to just drag this key over to the keyboard, we're going to get a warning. It says that the layout that we're working on is read-only, and it gives us directions on how to change that. So we wanted to keep the V1 layout intact with the PC module, PC users, so that if you have problems you can quickly go back to the factory default. So there's two options. You're going to go down here to Layout, and you're going to go to either New Layout or Duplicate Layout. In my case, I want to actually start entirely over. So I'm going to say New Layout, and my name is Tim, so I'm going to call this Tim Riley RPG. And I now have a new layout with no keys on it. What you'll notice is that in the center section of keys, all of the keycaps are now available. And I'm going to click on the individual keycaps to read about what they do. So for example, Color 1, Color 2, and Color 3 is a key designed for activating 3 Lightroom presets. The name Color 1, Color 2, and Color 3 is generic, and I'm using it to remind me that these is going to be a key that I use for 3 color correcting presets. I like to edit my photos using stars. So I see that there's a key here with star 1, star 2, and star 3. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that over as well. So let's talk about these two keys to get you started. I click on my star keys, and I'm noticing that there's no controls over here on the bottom right. This is because this is a very simple key. This is going to flag your photos as 1 stars, 2 stars, or 3 stars. However, if I click on color 1, color 2, color 3, I'm going to notice a whole lot of controls. First, I've got a color 1 preset tab, and then color 2 preset tab, and a color 3 preset tab. This is allowing me to program each of the different layers of that key. So color 1 is the first layer, color 2 is the option 2 layer, and color 3 is the option 3 layer. Let's go ahead and program color 1. Below that, you'll see 3 different types of presets. We've got a gradient preset, an adjustment brush preset, and a develop preset. Now you should know that 90% of what you're going to be doing is going to be develop presets. So that is in fact the default setting. So I've got develop preset selected here, and I'm going to check this drop-down menu, and what it's done is it's gone into my hard drive and looked for all of my Lightroom presets. This is a great place to remind you that you need to also install the Kubota V3 presets, Lightroom presets. If you don't, you're going to see the old Kubota presets, and they're not all compatible with the speed keys. So please take a moment and go and make sure you've done the install for the latest release of the Kubota presets. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to select Old Film 1 for color 1. I'm going to go over here to color 2, and I'm going to select, scroll down and look for Old Film 2. And here we are. I'm going to assign Old Film 3. So in a matter of seconds, I've just programmed the 3 layers for that key, color 1, color 2, color 3. Now, let's program a different type of presets just to give you some ideas. I'm going to grab this key here that's blank. It has no text on it. This means that you can program it to any type of preset you want, and you can write with a pen on this key to fill in the text. So I've got the key, I've selected it, and I'm now over here, and I'm going to do a gradient preset. So I've got selected preset 1 for the top layer. I'm going to select gradient, and now it's going to show me all of my different presets that I have in the gradient panel. So I'm going to select Kevin Kubota's Digifill preset, and now I can drag that preset across my gradient. Let's go to preset 2, and now this time, just so you understand, let's talk about adjustment presets. This is something that only the speed keys can do, and it's really quite exciting. So when I select adjustment preset, now I've seen the list of all of the available adjustment presets. Again, here's a number of the Kubota presets. I'm going to select burn. Now below, you have the ability to define your brush settings. So I'm going to select auto mask, and I'm going to change my brush size to be something that's more useful to me when I want to use this key. 20 is a great place to start for size and feather. Flow, I'm going to make it around 50 for me. And again, this is all user preference. And density, I'm going to do quite a bit. I'm going to go up to about 90. Because when I paint something on, I really want it to have a pretty dramatic impact. But you can play with these settings. These are, again, your brush settings. Lightroom does not allow us to record presets with brush settings. But Kubota and RPG have teamed up together to find a great way to do this for you. So here we go. I'm going to now go to preset number 3, and this time I'm going to do a develop preset. So there it is. There's 3 types of presets you can program on the keys. Other user controls, you're going to see they're going to look a little different. So let's grab, for example, the exposure plus, minus, and preset 12 button. Here we go. So this key for exposure plus, you're going to see a set of directions down below. You're also going to see library module and develop module sensitivity. So when you're in the library module of Lightroom and you press this key, maybe you want it to go up by a full stop. So highlight the double arrow button. But when you're in the develop module, maybe you want it to be really sensitive, and every time you press that key, you only want it to go up by a little bit. Move that slider down to the left. Remember that these are sensitivity numbers, not absolutes. So 1 is half the change that 2 was, and 4 is twice the change that 2 was. You're going to want to play with and tinker with these sliders to get the keyboard set up just for your own liking. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics of the user interface. The next video we're going to talk to you about how to set up Lightroom. Take care.